it's opposite. I don't know how to do that.
Hello. Happy Tuesday.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hi. I am Lindsay with Keystone Mortgage, and of course, Miss Kayla McDonald with Remax Alliance Group. And we have Mr. Jayce Pedraza coming to talk with us today. And what better timing with our lovely storm on the way? And I'm sure that you are preparing to get all of your equipment together. So I'm going to kind of set it over to you, and you tell us what you're doing and how you got started and all that good stuff.
So do you want me to talk about the storm first, or you want me to talk about how we got started?
Anything you want. Talk about
whatever's on your heart, whatever's going to make you feel good.
Well, let's talk about the storm first. So we got a storm coming. Who knows if it's going to be a Cat 3 or 4. Every chart's saying something different. So right now we're kind of just preparing for the worst. We're getting all the equipment and all the trailers back in the yard, getting everything all emptied, getting our transfer tanks all full of fuel, and just getting ready for the storm. So we can go out there and help anyone in need, and hopefully we can make a difference. So
that's what I was going to ask. So, like, what kind of things can you do? Like, after the storm, of course, you go out into the community and you just help clean up, like remove trees, debris. Like, what does that look like for you?
So with the storm, the biggest thing that we're going to be helping out with is cleanup. So there, like, let's say a tree falls on your property or your house, or you just have debris all across your yard. We can get our equipment over there and get it all hauled away from you and get everything all cleaned up, so you can kind of have a clean slate where to start it again. So,
right.
Okay. How was that for you last year with Idalia? Like, what type of like impact and things were you guys inundated with?
We didn't really get hit too bad over here, of course. So we didn't really have too much trouble or getting anything ready for that. I prepare for the worst, but nothing really happened over here. And then we get some calls from these big companies that go up north where the hurricane hit, like Perry or something like that. But I try to stay local for things like that because you never know what's going to happen. So sometimes we'll go out of state or go up north or down south to help with these hurricanes. But I don't really like working for these big management companies and stuff because they don't tell you anything. They just bring you down there and you're hoping for the best. And they pay you by yardage. So you bring a trailer down there, you stuff as much as your trailer, and then they pay you how many dumps and how many yardages you take. And then who knows when she gets paid? Because I got a couple of buddies that did it, and they said they waited between 6 and 8 months to even get paid from these companies.
Oh my gosh. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. I don't blame you for not wanting to go and do all that because it's a lot of time and effort and everything to wait almost 6 months or 8 months to get paid.
Not even get paid for it yet.
That's no, definitely. And then it's just unsure because I don't want to bring all my guys up there and get Airbnbs or hotels and stay there and not be sure that we have jobs up there. So I don't want to bring all the equipment, all the guys, and get all this planned out. Next thing you know, we got nothing to do. And it's just a big risk. So
yeah. So what is like day-to-day operations, like no storm, nothing, like what does that look like for you? How did you get into this industry, and what are all the services that you provide?
So I didn't even mean to get in this industry. It kind of just happened. I really didn't have anything planned. Into it. So a little backstory. Ever since I was 16, I was out hustling, making money, doing car detailing or pressure washing or anything like that. And I had a good buddy of mine. He started doing junk removal, and he was making some good money doing that. And I said, well, I'm going to start doing that. So I kind of got into the junk removal scene, and then it kind of just went from there. And then I wanted to move out of my parents' house. My mom's like, well, you're going to have to make this a legitimate business so you can go show income to rent the house. I'm like, well, that's right. So I started that LLC, and it kind of just went from there. Nothing was ever planned. I didn't really plan on starting a business, but kind of just all happened.
I feel like that's how it happens a lot of times. You just kind of like fall into something, or you start doing something with a friend, and it or maybe like a hobby or a side job, but then sometimes you end up getting passionate about it, or you like helping people, and it just turns into a good business.
Oh, definitely. Like I love helping the community. That's a big part of being in business is
Mhm.
helping the community and connections. Without the community and without your clientele, you're nothing.
Yeah.
So that's what we stand for, is to have the best customer service out there, because there's a lot of other demo companies that just do commercial work, so they're not really too keen about their online presence or helping residential customers. But that's kind of my bread and butter, is doing residential work and helping everyone out. So
So like, do you do, like you said, like demolition? So do you do like demo for in people's houses and like remove?
yeah, so there's different kinds of demolition. We do it all. So we can do interior demolition when we come in there. We got the whole house, or we take apart a kitchen, a bathroom, subfloor. If there's some walls you need to take down of your house and the walls need to be shored up, it's a low bearing wall. We do things like that.
Mhm.
We do a full site demo. So if there's an older building or something, they're trying to develop the site, we go in there, we demo the whole house. We kind of just get the land prepped so they can build. And then we do a lot of selective demo, which is like we go in, we take down low bearing walls, or we're cutting a concrete wall out, or we just take the roof off or a balcony off your house. So we do a little bit of everything.
Oh, that's cool. And then you also do just like plain old junk removal. Like someone says, "Hey, I need all this furniture out of my house. Can you haul it away and dump it?"
Yep.
Right.
So we do junk removal, and we do clean outs too. So like all these big warehouses and commercial buildings, when they're ready to renovate it, we kind of clean it out, and then we do the demo as well. And then we also do dumpster rentals as well, for a lot of our customers. So
Like something where like it's basically they fill it and you haul it away.
yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
So your company's Florida hauling, you go all over the state?
Yep, Florida hauling and demo. So depending on of course, the size of the job, we go all over the state.
Right.
But our main area, I would say, is probably from Homosassa all the way down to St. Pete area.
That's a pretty good coverage area.
Yeah.
I gotta go let my dog in. She's yelling at me.
Nobody hears her. Well, that's awesome. And usually what we found is you're not really looking to start a business. It does just kind of happen, and happens for quite a few of us, where you just end up getting involved, and before you know it, there's no looking back.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You don't know what life was like before you used to do what you do.
No, exactly. My plan was to go to Florida State for 4 years, and do the business academy up there. Then this started kind of picking up, and I decided not to go to college. I mean, parents weren't too thrilled about that, but that's besides the point. But other than that, it kind of just blew up, and I'm happy I didn't end up going to college and kind of just stuck with this. So
Yeah.
Well, young entrepreneur, and you really have like put it all together, and really have a great presence, and good for you. That's awesome.
well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So how long have you been in business, and when did you start this?
So we've been in business for just over 2 years now.
Okay.
But I've been doing this pretty much all of high school as well. But
Right.
it really wasn't something that I really got into until I would say junior or senior year of high school.
Okay. Do you have like any crews? I know that you mentioned earlier about sending your guys somewhere. Like how many I guess crews or employees do you have?
So we have 3 employees. Well, I have 3 employees, and then we have a part-time crew as well. But 4 or 5. So when we do these big interior demos, we kind of bring everyone in and do these big demos. But with our industry, you don't really need too many people. I mean, of course, you get to that point that you need lots of people. You're doing multiple crews and stuff. But right now, I'm pretty efficient with 3 people. 1 person running the dumpsters. I have 2 people operating equipment, and sometimes I have a ground guy on these jobs. And then here and there, I'll go out and do some smaller stuff throughout the day. So.
Right.
Yeah, I gotta imagine when you're, demoing and hauling things away, you don't have to be too like careful with anything. It's kind of like I don't know. I just imagine it's a fun job.
Like, so when I first started out, it was fun. When we were first starting out, it's fun. I'm like, oh, I get to demo stuff for a living. This is awesome. Right. Now it's like a job. It's like, oh, now it is what it is. But
now you're like, my neck hurts.
Now my dog's going crazy. I'm muting. Be right back.
You're good. But with a lot of these jobs, like we work in some high-end neighborhoods like Tampa, and these houses are multi-millions of dollars, and we're demoing a kitchen or bathroom. So we have to take precaution not to ruin their flooring, the furniture, or get dust in anything.
Right.
So a lot of times with these interior demos, you have to be very careful of what you do. We do visqueen hallways. We visqueen everything, make visqueen hallways. We put ram board on the flooring, so none of the guys, or if we drop anything, it doesn't ruin any of the nice expensive tile or get dust on this furniture that costs thousands of dollars. So that'd be the last thing we want.
Yeah. So I guess there's a lot of prep work that goes into it.
Yes.
And clean up afterward. So it's not always just demoing, like you said, like an entire house or anything.
Yeah. And the entire houses, I like doing that because they're nice and easy, and you don't have to be as careful. I mean, of course, if we're in a subdivision and these houses are 3 feet apart from each other, you have to know how to demo this house correctly, so you don't have a wall falling on each side of the other and hitting some other house. So there's kind of there's certain ways to do certain things.
Right. So like when you demo like a full house, though, you have to have like a demo permit for the house, right?
Yep. So you have to have a demo permit, and then you have to have the electrical and plumbing disconnected from the property. And then you have to do a silt fence around the house. And most counties, some counties don't require it, but we do it anyway. It's basically a, what's it called? I have a brain fart right now.
The fencing, the silt fence?
Yeah, it's for,
it looks like almost like a giant mesh thing, right? With all like the holes and stuff. And
yeah, so the silt fence is basically like a black fabric fencing. Yeah. And you have to till up the ground, so it has to be between 6 and 8 inches underneath the ground. And then you backfill it with the dirt. It's for erosion management. So if you're bringing in dirt, you don't want this new dirt to go on someone else's property, or it kind of keeps everything contained in an area. And then two, with a lot of these houses, depending on where it's located, we have to spray water on these houses to keep the dust down. As if not, you can get a fine for that. So that won't be good.
I did not know that.
We do this every time that we have a guest. The more you know, that's what we should call it.
Right? No, because we're always like, oh, really? We didn't know how that was. I'm just intrigued with, actually demoing a full house and removing like old trailers and manufactured homes from people's houses or people's properties. And I know that they do it a lot, or we're doing it a lot, at least in Tampa. People were coming in and just demoing houses to rebuild on it. And sometimes they were like, not even like, they were really nice houses too. Like I had a client and she had a cousin or whatever, and they bought like $1 million house over in Tampa, like either on Bayshore or whatever. And she was like, oh yeah, my cousin is just demoing and knocking the whole house down to rebuild. And I'm like, excuse me?
Really? It's crazy.
$1 billion for it. Yeah.
We were actually on Bayshore. This was probably 2 months ago. We work for a lot of investors, land development companies. There's this historic house that was built, I believe, in like the 1800s or something. And it's the open water right on Bayshore. So they paid so much money for this house that's basically a shed. Down here in Newport Richie, this house would probably be worth like $3,000. But over there, it's worth like $1.5 million, which is crazy to me. So with that house, you can look on our Facebook. We shored everything up. We literally cut the house in half and removed the back house of it. So they are building a 2-story addition on it. So with these historical homes, you can't demo the whole thing because the historical division won't let you. There's a lot of cables and stuff on the house that you're not allowed to touch. And if you touch it, you get big fines. So that's another thing too.
Well, I didn't know that, but I kind of like that they do that because it's kind of sad. I don't know. I'm kind of like a nerd when it comes to like older homes and like historical things, because I just feel like it's so cool that there's this structure that's been around for 100 years or however long it is, and I'm like, what's so pretty? You can make it pretty. I mean, look at the hacienda
Right.
that they just restored, and it was just sitting there for so long, and I'm glad that they decided to restore it.
Look at all the people and the conversations and the things that took place in those old buildings, and some of them people, well, most of the people, depending upon how old it is, they're no longer here on Earth. So that's pretty cool in itself. I'm with you. I like history and the historic buildings, and yes, you can make them pretty.
Oh, definitely. My favorite thing about those historical buildings are the wood floors in them, because it's real wood floor and it's been there forever when they actually made good materials compared to now.
Right.
And I've seen a lot of customers there restore them, and they're the most gorgeous flooring I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I know. So, I mean, it's the ones out there that are like the really, really small, like shacks and stuff. Like I can see why people just say, remove them and get rid of them. They're probably pretty easy to knock down.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of really, really, just really cool architecture and like brick and, just things that they don't really do anymore. If they do, they don't do it very well.
Yeah.
Like I see a lot of them, one in Tampa, and then even in like the downtown Newport Richey area, like around the river, there's a lot of like the historical buildings over there, and it's cool. I was actually in one the other week. It was I think it was like a St. Thomas, or I can't remember who it was, but someone had like this mansion, and we went and toured the house, and the person who owned the house now was an artist. So she had a painting of what the old mansion used to look like, but then I don't know what happened, if it flooded or if they demoed it and split the property or what, but it was very cool. And I had no idea that was even like that. I didn't know that was there, or that was, sorry.
Dogs are crazy today.
Excuse me.
Usually your dog's, now her dog's going to get my dog going. That's funny. It's your fault, Kayla.
And then another big thing too that people don't realize is these older homes. There's asbestos in these older homes, so you have to get it abated.
Yeah.
So that's a whole thing that I don't even know too much about. I'm actually working right now to get my abatement license. There's a lot of these contractors want a demo company and do both. But with these older houses, you have to get an abatement company in there and take all the asbestos out and so on and so forth. Or sometimes too, they say, hey, if you spray water and keep the dust down this property, you're good to go. So, because back then, asbestos is basically like it was like a spray on something that they sprayed on everything, like the insulation back then.
It was different than what we have. Yeah, it was different than what we have now.
Oh, definitely. And then now they just realize that it causes cancer and all this stuff. So,
well, I think everything that we do causes cancer in some sort of way. It's ridiculous. Yeah. But yeah, I remember my grandfather used to talk about, all the asbestos, and I don't even remember exactly what he did, but he knew when he was working in it of how bad it was for you at that time. And it took him so long to like come to, the knowledge of the world of how bad the stuff was for you. And honestly, I had no idea that you had to have like a special license or anything to remove it, or that people even had it. But I guess it would be in all them older houses and stuff.
Yeah. So basically, I don't know the whole thing with this abatement stuff. That's what I'm trying to learn and get my license.
Yeah.
But I've heard from other people too. So the abatement goes in there and they take things which they think is asbestos and they test it at a lab. And then they come back and remove it. And like you have to close out the whole area where the asbestos is. You have to visqueen everything and make sure nothing gets around. And then with all this asbestos, you have to double bag it in these special bags that they make, and then you have to take it to a certain landfill to dispose of it. So you can't, like, if you take out asbestos, you can't just take it to any landfill
Right.
And get rid of it. So you can get some big fines for that.
Well, I guess so. Well, that's so cool. Like every time that I talk to you, you're looking, to grow and to get involved in something else. Like it shows your passion for what you do, and I think that in itself is pretty cool. And
Oh, yeah.
like I said, I think that you're young and you have like a really great outlook on business and to establish yourself really well. And I think that's so cool.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're probably a little bit older than my daughter, and I'm like, what is what's happening?
I think I know your daughter. I think we went to River Ridge together.
Oh, you might have. She went to both Mitchell and River Ridge. She in 10th grade. She actually was in England for a while, almost 2 years, playing soccer, and COVID happened and messed it all up. But she ended up coming back for her senior year to River Ridge. So she ended up going to both Mitchell for 9th grade, and then her senior year she was at River Ridge.
Yeah. I'm not sure if she graduated my class, or she might have been a year above me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I'm trying to think of what year. So
I graduated in 22.
Yeah. So you might have. It might be the same class. I have to ask her what year that she graduated, because I think it was probably 22. I think it's the same year, because this is her, second year of college since she's been back. Well, that's cool. I didn't realize that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
She's my oldest. I have 3. I have a daughter that's just in 9th grade who also goes to River Ridge. This is her first year, and then I have a little boy who's 10. So he's still little. I have a long way to go with him.
Yep.
All are in sports and involved in all different types of things. It's funny.
Sports is one thing I miss in high school. I didn't end up playing football my senior year just because I was too busy. Yeah. And I really regret that. My family's like, you're going to regret not playing your senior year, so on and so forth. I'm like, I'll be fine. And now I'm really regretting that.
Different aspirations. That's awesome though. Like, right out of, you were in school and still doing what you're doing today. That's awesome.
Yeah. It was nice too, but senior year I took OJT. So I only had 3 periods. I was out by like 9:50. And every day after school I would just go work. So.
Yeah. Making some money.
Yep.
Cool. Well, Miss Kayla will come back and join us, but I'm really glad that you came on today and told us about, and like I said, it was coincidental that the storm is happening, but if people need anything from you, we have all of your information running across the bottom of the screen here. Is that the best way to get in contact with you? Either your cell phone?
I would say the best contact is either just call or text that number. You can.
Is there a job that's too small or something that you would be the best to call for, like after the storm passes?
So the only thing that we don't really do anymore is like one item pickups for like junk removal. Our overhead's so high, I can't make any money. It's not worth me gouging customers to pick up a mattress or a couch or something for me to make profit from it. So I just tell all my customers that, hey, we don't do this anymore. And I work with some junk removal companies that I recommend them to. Sure. There are some good buddies of mine, so they can take care of them.
Maybe communities, like if they have a lot of debris and a lot of stuff, they could kind of get together and put all their things together to be able to, get it taken away.
Oh, definitely. That's the biggest thing. Like I've learned, it's better to be friends with competitors because you can help each other out and help each other grow faster than you trying to put them down or talking trash or so on and so forth. Because a lot of my good friends that I have now are people that are in the industry. Sure. And I have learned so much from them that it just helped me grow so much. Like I have a mentor that's in the same industry, and he's helped me grow crazy. So I just think it's in any business, it's better to be friends from your competitors because you can always learn something more than what you don't know.
Absolutely. And that is how you learn, and that's how you grow. And I think there's enough business for everybody.
Oh, definitely.
Certain people work well with certain people, and that's okay too. So like I said, I I love talking to you, and I think you're doing a great job, and I appreciate your time coming on and talking to us. And
No, you're welcome.
if they need you, all your info is on here. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Mr. Jayce, you have a good rest of your day, and
You as well.
stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. You guys have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye.